All right, high school sports fans, we're back to Gridiron 64. It's Monday evening. I got my crew in full effect. I've got the big T, Tony Pena. Tony, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here.
All right, and then we got the Z-Man. He's the main man. He's the guy that does it all for us here on the Gridiron 64. Johnny Zavala, how you doing, Johnny?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
And then we got the coach, the guy that knows it all about football. Spends all week just, even at work, he's doing research with his laptop. He's just getting going, wanting to get all the information about the teams. Coach Steve Cantu. Coach, how you doing?
Blessed, brother. Happy to be here.
All right, and then I'm the host, Gabriel Trevino, Gridiron 64. And I guess, again, we've got another coach on the Gridiron 64. This week we have a coach, Joe Castellano. He's the athletic director, head coach of the Taft Greyhounds. Coach Castellano, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, guys. I appreciate you guys having me, and thank you guys for all you do for high school football and the recognition that you give our kiddos and different programs around the coastal bend. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, Coach. We wanted to talk 2021 Taft Greyhounds, your program, your 3-0 start. Definitely in contention to win the district title this year, and we want to do a little bit of Q&A with you. And so, Coach, to get started, we're going to go ahead and start with the Z-Man, Johnny Zavala. He's got a question or two for you, Coach.
All right.
Hello, Coach. What brought you to the Taft High School, by the way?
You know, I'm going to go back to talk about my days in Refugio. I'm a Refugio boy, and I grew up on the other side of the tracks. Didn't have a whole lot growing up. And we had some tough battles when I played football, high school football in Refugio. We had some tough battles with Taft. So I've always known the toughness that Taft brought, and I've always known the tradition that Taft has had as well. And being a coastal bend guy and kind of coached in this area for 25 years, and it was just the right opportunity. You know, I thought it was the right timing for myself and my family. It wasn't too far from home. I thought they had the right setup for me with the administration. The kids, we've always known the kids to work hard in Taft. So put in for the job, and I was fortunate enough to get picked as the head coach.
Hey, you're all right. Taft always had a little good program going on there. I competed back against them back in the mid-'90s from Rockport. So back then, that was some good games with Taft, and I still remember those days. You know, sitting Taft in Rockport during those mid-'90s. So, like, I can understand, you know, it's always been there. Taft's always been there. And, you know, back then, it was only the top 6 teams, and so, like, it was those 3 fighting for those 2 spots. You know, so that was pretty good back then. So now we got you on. Tell us a little bit about your offensive players and defensive players. What do you got going on with your team and stuff going?
You know, we run a spread type offense that incorporates a lot of skilled kids. 4-2-5 on defense. We're not short of any skill kids. I think we have tons of skill kids right now. We try to put the ball in space, try to give them opportunities to make plays in space. Offensively, we try to stay as balanced as we can, throwing the ball and running the ball. We've been pretty fortunate to do that the first 3 games. Defensively, it's been a pretty simple philosophy for everywhere that I've gone, and that's just running to the football in a controlled, aggressive manner. And being able to tackle people and get them down on the ground. So we've just been fortunate enough to do that the last few years here at Taft, and the kids have bought into the system, and they've done a good job with it.
That's a pretty good system you got going on there. If it continues, it continues. Well, that's all I got, Gabe.
All right, Tony.
Yeah. Again, thanks, Coach, for coming on. Yeah, I could attribute to Taft. I played against Taft. I graduated from Westo, so you know, Taft was in our district, you know, in the later '90s. And you know, they didn't win a whole bunch of football games, but I said this on the gridiron before, you know, they didn't win a whole lot. Them boys hit hard. They hit harder than
Uh-oh.
think these guys are freezing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
I think Tony froze. All right, Coach, you're back with us. Let's go ahead and jump to you. Go ahead with your questions for Coach, and then Tony will get back with us here shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's all the high wind that we're getting right now might be playing havoc with the internet service.
Yeah.
You copy?
I got you.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Steve. Hold on just a minute. Tony, are you back with us?
Yeah, did that question come on?
All right, go ahead and start over again. We might be having some trouble with the weather, but go ahead and go. He's back. Steve, you want to hold just a minute? Go ahead, Tony.
I was how many
Okay.
how many seasons have you been or how many years have you been here in Taft?
This is my third. This will be my third football season. I got here in the spring of 19, and so this will be going into my third football season here with Taft.
All right. So you said you played in Refugio. I heard you say that. What position did you play? And where did you go to college after high school?
Yeah, I was quarterback in high school and a linebacker in high school, which kind of fit, the description of 1990 and 1980s football, where you kind of play both sides of the ball, and it was power football and smash mouth football and just aggressive football on the defensive side. I graduated in 1990. We played in the state championship game in 1987. Went to the semifinals in 89. Ran 3 state track teams back in the 80s as well. Graduated in 1990, went to Tarleton State in Stephenville. Like I said earlier, didn't have a whole lot growing up, and we grew up in the projects on the other side of the tracks, and I can still remember my mom driving me all the way to Stephenville, and I had no idea where even Stephenville was located. The only reason I went there, my head coach, Coach Harris, told me that the guy was interested in me playing defensive back over there for him. So got a call. My mom drove me up there about 6.5 hours away, $20 bill in my pocket, and dropped me off at the dorms with a bicycle and a bag of clothes. Went to practice that night, or the next night, went to practice, had a flat tire on my bicycle. I didn't even know how to change a flat tire on a bicycle. I mean, I grew up a single mom, no dad in my life, no brothers. I really didn't know how to change a flat tire. Make a long story short, 2 days later, my head football coach, George Harris, shows up in Stephenville, shows me how to change the flat tire. And God didn't have to drive over there. But it was that moment right there that I knew I wanted to coach. He impacted my life so much in just that little instance that I knew I wanted to do the same thing for kids. So, and that was the moment that I went into coaching, and I knew where I wanted to go with my life, and kind of do the same thing that those high school coaches do on a daily basis, and that's impact kids' lives, and that's what we try to do on a daily basis. I make it a point to try to impact somebody's life in a positive way every day. So I went to Tarleton State for 3.5 years, and then had some injury stuff happen. Came back and finished school at A&M Corpus Christi. So
awesome, great story.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That's a great story. Let's see. So last question I have for you is right now going into week 4, Taft, Oldham, and Hebronville are all 3-0. Who do you see as the toughest opponent that you'll have to face this year to win that district title?
We have a tough battle this week against Kenedy. In the following week, we play Hebronville for our first district ball game, and I think it's going to be in that order. Obviously it's the opponent that we're playing next, which Hebronville comes up first, so they're going to be the toughest opponent that we face before we face Oldham. So they're both comparable. They're both great teams, and they're both well coached. They're both physical programs. They know how to play football, and they teach football well at both programs. I wouldn't put one over the other, but I know we do have our work cut out with both of them.
Awesome. Yeah, I know, and I know last year y'all didn't get to play Hebronville, so interesting to see how it turns out for y'all this year. But that's all I got. But good luck on this season. Good luck to you
Yes,
and your
sir.
team. And Gabe, back to you.
All right, before
Thank
I
you.
go to Steve, Coach, I just wanted to say on air that I know we talked a little bit, and I already told you, but on air, I wanted to make sure that I said this, that Bubba Creighton, he's a referral alumni, right? He wanted me to say hello. He knew I talked to him. He lives here in Rockport. We talk pretty much every day about football, and he said, hey, you got JR going down there. Hey, tell him Bubba Creighton says hello. So I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure I got that on air to make sure, old friend. Now, he told me a little story. He said, JR and I, he ran track and he was pretty fast, man. We did some amazing things down there at first. So I know you were a big track star and not only played football, but you were big in track. But Coach, before I go to Steve, I wanted to ask you a question. I was looking in to who Coach Castellano was. And can you talk a little bit about some of the coaches that have impacted you? You played for some great coaches I saw around the
Yeah.
area. Can you talk about some of these coaches, head coaches that you played for before you became a head coach yourself?
Yeah, it started in high school football. Like I said earlier, I played under the Bobby Kelly, who was a big time disciplinarian, and I played under George Harris, and George Harris was just the all around athletic director that really believed in track and how track impacted all your other sports. Then I went on and coached under Phil Danaher and Cal Allen. I learned kind of the importance of winning by all means. If the scoreboard is turned on, you better be trying to win. And then the simplicity of the game with Phil Danaher. Basically, if it's not broke, don't try to fix anything. Coached under Jerry Bomar, and Jerry Bomar learned all the little details of high school. And how high school football players, they don't have to be 6 foot and they don't have to be 300 pounds and they don't have to run a 4.5. You just have to get them to buy into your program and get them to believe in what you're, and it's a lot of mind games with high school football players. And the kids that we have at Taft, they're not the biggest and they're not the fastest, but if you get them to believe in what you're doing, they'll run through a wall for you. So I learned a lot of that from Jerry Bomar. Tom Allen, worked with Tom Allen in Sitton for 5 years, learned about total program and how important the girls side of the program is and the boys side, and how important it is to have multi-sport athletes and giving them an equal opportunity to participate in everything that they wish to do. Worked with him, worked with Chris Jones. Chris Jones went to Lamarck with Chris Jones and Refugio. Just learned the organization part of being an athletic director and a head football coach. So kind of learned a little bit from each one of those guys. They've all been successful in their own rights, and have kind of packaged it into my own coaching style.
Wow, Coach. Well, those are some impressive names there. I mean, you're playing high school, Coach Harris. We know Coach Harris taught down here in GP after Furia, so we know who he is. And then Phil Danaher and Coach Allen and stuff. So some of these coaches you've actually worked under those are some great programs, great coaches. Phil Danaher is still around, man. Still, trying to get that state title. And
he's been very successful in what he does. And again, I think I've learned more just the simplicity of the game and not changing anything that you do and believe in what you do. And the game has evolved so much in football. But if you notice Cal Allen, it's really what they've done for the last 30 years is what they do. Now they've changed a little bit of things here and there, but their bread and butter is going to be that wing tee, and they can always go to it. But just learn that about the coaching part of it, and not trying to be so multi-differential and stuff like that, and just kind of staying to who you are as a coach and what you believe in.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Coach Steve. He's got some questions for you. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Hey, first and foremost, Coach, I'd like to say thank you for joining us on this podcast. I've been watching you, and you guys are doing some really nice things out there. It's funny how you mentioned, once you get the kids to buy in, because that's what I see on film. I see 22 kids that are totally bought into your program, the way you're running your organization, and it shows on the scoreboard on Friday nights. When you see them kids that are, like you say, maybe a bit undersized and sometimes outmatched, their heart won't allow them to fail. So I see that on film. It pops out to me. It really caught my eye. So congratulations on your season so far.
Well, thank you.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
First question I got for you, Coach, is I heard that it took quite a while. You've been coaching for over 20 years now, and this has been your first break to be a head coach. What would you say is the toughest transition from coordinator to head coach?
There's just so much involved. There's days that I say, man, I wish I could just coach football, and that's all, and I'm not having to deal with volleyball issues or cross country issues or parents for whatever reasons, and I just there's days I just want to be a coordinator and just focus on the football side of it. But it comes with the territory and it comes with experience, and you learn how to shuffle. You learn how to shuffle your time and manage your time and making sure that you trust your coordinators and trust not only your girls coordinators, but your boys coordinators and your football coordinators. You entrust in them to do their job and working with them hand in hand. So it's a combination of all that to learn how to juggle that time and manage it and being able to, put a good product out on the football field. But at the same time, you want to put a successful athletic program together in the same sense. So, yeah.
Coach, I know we didn't touch on this beforehand, but I mean, it just came to mind right now that when you're talking about, trusting in your coaches and that being AD and all, was that part of the deal? I mean, would you have came over to be just the football head coach, or was AD part of it?
Yeah, the smaller schools, you're probably your 4A on down, and even some of your 5A schools, it's normally an athletic director role / head football coach. Now you get into some of your CCISD or even some of your bigger 6A schools where it's just a head football coaching job. But yeah, this one was part of it as an athletic director and a head football coach, and a lot of people don't understand that there is 2 titles along with it. They think you're just the head football coach, but there is an athletic director side of it as well. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on the school and how they advertise for the position. But this one was advertised as both.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
The next question I got for you is that, your program is off to a hot start. They're 3-0. They look really good on the field. What would you say is the biggest reason for that, Coach?
I think it's a combination of a few things, one, it being our 3rd year there. When I first got there, and I'm a big disciplinarian guy because I believe you win and lose with discipline. And it was one, establishing some discipline. And it takes a little time to do that. You can't do that within a week or a month or maybe not even a year. But it being our 3rd year, we've seen that we've established that part of it already. It's a combination of the kids. They have to be bought into what you're selling. And obviously athletes make us coaches look real good at times too. So, and we got a good group of kids that are coming through our program right now. So that has something to do with it. A lot of people don't realize that parents play a big role in the success of your program. They got to get those kids to school every single day. They got to get them there. Teachers play a big role in keeping the kids eligible in order to participate. Board members, they're giving us an opportunity, and they're giving us all means necessary to equip these kids with the right equipment and things of that nature. Administration's a big part of it. So there's a combination of a lot of things that have to go hand in hand in order for a program to be successful. A lot of people don't realize it. They just see the product on Friday night and think that it's all easy. But there's a lot of people that are involved behind the scenes in order for a program to move in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I mean, I know you probably don't want to hear this part, but most people, they just want to follow. They want to be led. And with your, it seems like you're the right person at the right time for this town, this team right now. And I kind of see, just talking to you, and please don't take this the wrong way, the team kind of resembles your persona. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They kind of taking
Right.
that on, hard-nosed, gritty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No
Yeah.
nonsense, just, keep it easy. And I love that. I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great.
that
My
was
last and
another
final question,
reason.
Coach, is looking through your roster, I noticed that the majority of your team are juniors and sophomores. How exciting is that to know that you're gonna, next year have a ton of seniors with the 2-3 years of experience in your program? How exciting is that going to be for you?
It's real exciting, and we do have a plethora of skill kids.
Guys?
But you guys know as well as I do, you got to have kids that are going to block for those guys, and you got to have defensive linemen and stuff like that. And kind of right now, those are the kids that we're trying to find, because we have a shortage of linemen in Taft right now. Some bigger boys. We need some linemen on both sides of the ball, but it is good to have those skill kids, and we have a lot of them right now, and it's helping us because we're able to even platoon a little bit, where we have guys that just play on the offensive side, and then we have guys that just play on the defensive side, and you rarely see that at a 3A school. But like I said, I would be a lot more thrilled if I had a bunch of bigger boys, lineman type, that are walking our hallways. So we're trying to recruit those kids every day to come out to our program. So just hadn't had the success yet.
Awesome. Well, Coach, that's all I got. I appreciate your time, and I'll pass it on to Gabriel.
All right. Thank you, bud.
Coach, I got a couple of questions, and the first one I have is, what's the expectation for the 2021 Taft Greyhounds this year? Like, going into the off season, Coach, before the football season started, what were you guys talking about? If we could share a little bit about what was the expectation from the coaches and the players.
I think the expectations coming off of COVID year and being in the midst of COVID, I think your expectations change a little bit. And what I'm talking about is, we just wanted to play football. We wanted our kids to be healthy. We wanted to be able to practice every day. We wanted our kids to be able to show up. And again, just trying to slow the spread of the virus down was really an expectation for us as a program. And not being able, we got shut down last year after our first 2 practices. We got shut down and had to be out for 2 weeks. So that was an expectation, just being able to practice on a daily basis and get back to some type of normalcy. Another expectation that we always have is just being competitive. We want to put a product out on the field that's going to be competitive on Friday nights. We want to put a product on the field that's going to be disciplined and make the community proud, because the community will be proud. If you go out there and you work your butts off and you're competitive and you're disciplined, I'm a firm believer that the scoreboard will take care of itself. We can draw up all these X's and O's and we can scheme stuff offensively and defensively. But if you're not going to execute and be disciplined from a discipline standpoint, the scoreboard is not going to show that. So we really preach that. We're really proud of our kids because they have bought into some little discipline stuff that we have changed. We have put a competitive product on the field week in and week out. We played Lexington in the second round last year, and we're probably outmanned, and it was 7-0 at halftime, and we were super competitive, and we were super proud of our kids, and that's all we ask for. That's all we ask for on a weekly basis, is to go out there and make the community proud of you. So that's basically our expectations year in and year out.
Coach, you're doing an awesome job with these Taft Greyhounds, and I'm sure the community is very proud to have you down there in Taft. Coach, my next question for you is talk a little bit about the Oldham Owls. Now, I know there's other teams there, and you talked a little bit about, other teams that
Yeah.
could be very competitive. But last year and this year, I here on our podcast, we talk about Taft and Oldham. And I think for Taft to get the district title, obviously you've got to get through Oldham. Oldham has been the dominant team there in that district for a couple of years now. What do you
Yeah.
guys have to do this year to beat Oldham in a few weeks and get that district title?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of what I've been talking about with the discipline part and the execution part. And I think it's a mentality with our kids when they play Odom, for whatever reasons, they feel defeated already. So it's a mental breakthrough that we got to get through, because we've been very competitive against Odom. It's come down to the fourth quarter, and we just haven't been able to knock down the door in the fourth quarter. So that's to me, that's a lack of either discipline, execution, or a combination of both. So really been preaching those things. But like I said, Odom's got a great program, and Coach Huerta does a great job over there. They got tons of tradition that we feel like we're right behind them, if not with them. But next week we start with Hebbronville, and that's going to be our focus next week. That'll be our first district ball game. And that'll be our primary focus going into next week is Hebbronville, and hopefully that comes out fine, and then we'll play Odom the following week.
Absolutely. You got three tough weeks starting this Friday, boy. You don't get no easy for the Taft Greyhounds, but I guess that's the way you want it, Coach. You want to see where your players are at and where your program's at. And this is a good way to figure out exactly where these boys are at with three tough games coming. The last question I have for you, Coach, before we let you go, is last year you started 3-0. You played Kenedy, of course, and now you're playing them again this Friday. You were on the road last year. This year you got them at home. Last year you lost to them 33-13, I believe. How important is it for this last non-district game for you guys to get the win as you start district play next week?
I'm going to go back again to what I talked about is we want to be highly competitive on Friday nights. We want to play disciplined football. We want to be able to execute on all three phases of the game. And at the end of the day, we want to make our community proud of our efforts. We talk to our kids about showing tremendous effort on every play, showing tremendous attitude, and then just tremendous toughness. I tell them all the time that Taft has 2 T's in it. And the reason I think it is because they have to be tough. And if they show those 3 things, again, we let the scoreboard take care of itself. And we hope that we're on top at the end of the fourth quarter. But if we can show those qualities and traits, then we're proud of our kids moving forward. Now, do we want to win? You're damn right we want to win. And we're going to do all we can do to win. So it's very important that we come out with the win on Friday night, moving into district.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, listen, thank you for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. I mean, you got 3 weeks. We're going to talk about you probably the next 3 weeks. We're going to have you. You are game of the week on the Gridiron 64, Coach. So we have 8 games from the Coastal Bend area that we select during the week, and then the majority wins. And Taft got the game of the week this week against Kenedy. We kind of looked at last year and this year. They're coming in undefeated, and you guys are coming in undefeated. So you are a game of the week. So we'll be previewing this later on tonight, your game, talking about breaking it down. And then, of course, next week we'll break the game down. We'll preview it tonight and then break it down next week. But, Coach, before we let you go, is there anything, we're going to give you the final word, anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to say before we call it a night?
Yeah, again, thank you guys for giving Taft some publicity. I don't think Taft gets enough publicity. I think we're stuck in the middle of Sinton, Portland, Odom, Rockport, England, and a lot of times we get overlooked for whatever reason. So I appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to come on here and to talk about our program, because we got great kids in Taft. And they work their tails off just like any other kids in South Texas, and they deserve the publicity just like any other programs. So I appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to come on here and sell my program.
Absolutely. And Coach, if you don't mind, we're going to be bringing in some players from the Coastal Bend area, not just coaches, as the season progresses and we get into the playoffs. And of course, what we like to do here, we never talk to the kid directly. We first start off with the coaches. We like to send you an email and kind of ask you if we can, kind of interview this kid, and hopefully you can get us some information on the parents, and then we go to their parents, send them an email like we did you. If the parents are okay with it, the coach is okay with it, with the players, and we'd like to bring some of your players on, maybe your quarterbacks, some defensive guys, some offensive guys, and bring them on and let them kind of tell their story about how things are going there in Taft. It's not just talking about the coaches, but the players as well, and getting them some publicity. Or we may just have you let us know, coach, can you give us 3 players, and let you pick which 3 players you want to bring on. So we'll definitely be getting back with you, getting some of your players. We'll let you know if we want 3 or 4 players we can get, and you let us know. That'll probably happen in a couple of weeks. But coach, thank you very much for your time, man. You're doing a great job there in Taft. Here on the Gridiron, we're big supporters of the Taft Greyhounds. I am, at least, because I got family down there, and I was born there many years ago. I wasn't raised there, but I was born there, and of course, we've got a lot of family down there and a lot of guys that have gone through that program. So I think you're doing an awesome job. Good luck, coach.
Yes, sir.
This weekend, this Friday, against Kenedy at home. I know you guys, it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully you guys will come out on top. Coach Steve, do you have anything you want to add before Coach Castellano leaves?
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep you, Coach, but I have nothing to do on Friday. What do you say, Gabe? Let's go road trip, baby.
Hey, I'm good. Rockport's got to buy. I mean, you guys want to go? I mean,
Let's
I'm
go.
good with it. Hey,
Let's go.
Hey, Coach,
Awesome.
I'll ask you this, Coach. We have the Gridiron 64, and we live stream the games. We live stream the Rockport games, every Pirate game. We've talked to Coach Seibert and coaches here, and they've allowed us to go in there and do that. Would you allow us to go in there and be able to live stream your Gridiron, the actual? We'll go through Facebook and live stream the game between Kenedy and Taft on our Gridiron 64. We go live at 7. I think, is your game at 7 or 7:30? I think it's 7:30, right?
It's 7:30. Yeah, it's a 7:30 start.
We need your permission. Would you allow us to go down there on Friday and live stream this game? We can put it on our Facebook page. It'd be Gridiron 64 Facebook. Could we do that, or do you have to get permission from somebody?
No, we're good. We're good to go, man. Again, any publicity you can bring to the community of Taft, we take it.
All right, Coach.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to be there in Taft. You guys are going to hear first. I'll be there Friday. We'll get there early, and we'll go live at 7:10 to live stream the Taft Greyhounds versus Kenedy Lions. It's going to be a good one. So we'll be putting this up tonight and tomorrow morning when we put it in there. That's a good job, Steve. Yeah, we're off, Coach. Rockport's off because we got to buy, so we're looking for a game. So we'll be in Taft this Friday, and wish you guys all the luck. Join us on the Gridiron 64. Like I said, we'll go live at 7:10, and the game starts at 7:30. And we go through the halftime. We watch we stay live. We watch the bands perform as well all the way to the end of the game. So it's going to be a good one, Coach. We will see you on Friday. What time do the gates open out there in Taft?
They'll be open usually about 6:15 is when the gates open. So, but if you guys need to get in there earlier, just shoot me a message and I'll get you guys in earlier.
All right, awesome. Coach, I'll send you a text on Friday morning. Thanks a lot. Gridiron's going to Taft, and we're going to catch a good game between the Greyhounds and the Lions. Anything you want to add, Coach Steve?
Thank you, Coach.
Go Hounds. Nice meeting you guys.
Go Hounds, baby.
Go Hounds.
That's right. I haven't been to a Taft game in a long time, but it's going to be great to go out there to Taft. And once again, Coach, we wish you all the luck on Friday as you got a big game going into your district. So until then, guys, I just want to say the video will be uploaded. This video right here, episode 4, will be uploaded tonight at 10 o'clock. Go to our YouTube channel, GT Sports, and listen to what Coach Castellano has to say about his 2021 Taft Greyhounds. And we will be there Friday night. So until then, Coach, we'll see you Friday. I'll send you an email Friday morning. Have a great evening, Coach. Thank you for your time, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.